The Umbrella Academy is one of the most unique superhero properties I have ever seen, and Season 2 ramps up everything from the action, romance, humor, the kick-ass music beats, the questions, the cliffhangers, and even the whoa. What is going on? Can you please rewind it? Well, don't worry, because today we are going to break down all of the unanswered questions you have and try to explain Season 2 in the easiest way possible. Hello everyone, Jared here, and today we are talking about Season 2 of one of my favorite Netflix series, The Umbrella Academy. And man, this thing is packed full of action, romance, humor, some of the best music ever in a series I have ever listened to. But where does everything end up? What exactly does that ending mean? Well, don't worry, because today we're going to dive into everything in Season 2, explain certain things, how certain things connect, and definitely jump into where this leads into a potential Season 3 and 4. So sit back and relax as we explain Season 2 of The Umbrella Academy. Oh jeez. Oh, whoa! No!
Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time.
So it is safe to say if you're watching this video, then you've watched Season 2 of The Umbrella Academy or completely have disregarded spoilers. If not, here's a quick refresher.
The Umbrella Academy Season 2 opens on April 1st, 2019. Talk about the worst April Fool's Day ever, with our characters exploding the moon and the apocalypse is about to destroy the whole planet. Do you remember now? Fortunate enough for the 6 Umbrella members, 5 was able to transport them all back in time, but something goes drastically wrong. Cue up that Maxine Nightingale. As each Umbrella member is dropped in Dallas, Texas at a different time period, Klaus and Ben are dropped in 1960, where Klaus is able to showcase his quote-unquote magical abilities, aka he tricks a bunch of wealthy people and in turn gains a cult-like following, and he essentially starts a massive cult. Actually, it is a cult. Allison is dropped in 1961, however, her not being able to talk because of her slit throat is far from her only problem, because 1960s America was racist as hell. I mean, Dave Chappelle and the Time Haters pointed this one out to us. Anyway, Allison is able to adapt to the time. She is chased to a nearby black beauty shop, joins the civil rights movement, and meets her husband. Luther is dropped in good old 1962, being the more emotional of the group. He has a tough time coping with things, but is able to gain work as muscle for a dirty crime nightclub owner, aka Jack Ruby. And for all of you people out there that know your history, this is the first tie-in with the Kennedy assassination. I mean, aside from 1960s Dallas. Diego is spit out on September 1st, 1963, because I guess they were running out of separate years for all of these members. I don't know, whatever. But he watches the speech from Kennedy stating,
"Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country."
Which makes him want to go after Lee Harvey Oswald, whom was the man who killed JFK, again another history lesson, or at least that's what the government wants you to think. But as his plan fails, Diego winds up in a mental facility. Vanya is spit out on October 12th, 1963, wearing her white suit and all, but then is struck by a car driven by Sissy and her autistic son, Harlan. Vanya can't remember anything and has amnesia, and essentially becomes Harlan's caretaker, all while developing an intimate relationship with Sissy. Let's be honest, it's because of her poor relationship with her husband. Lastly, 5 is spit out on November 25th, 1963, where essentially nuclear war is taking place as Russia has invaded the United States, with the Umbrella Academy members fighting off those commie bastards. 5 is about to join the fight when Hazel jumps back in time, pulling an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Come with me if you want to live.
Transporting 5 back just 10 days, so now he has to try to stop this so-called new apocalypse. As 5 has to round up the Academy crew from all of their new lives, a trio of Swedish brothers who work part-time at IKEA have been sent back by the Commission to stop them at any and all costs, which obviously puts a big wrinkle in their plans. But lucky for them, a conspiracy theorist has been keeping tabs on the members dropping in the back alley throughout the years and notifies them of the Majestic 12, which is a shadowy government network whom one of the members is Sir Reginald Hargreeves. Really, were any of you guys surprised? Lastly, the handler, whom was shot in the head via Season 1, has now recovered because of a metal plate in her head, much like Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, but she has lost her position as the lead handler at the Commission to a man named AJ, who is actually just a fishbowl man with a bowl of fish on his head. I mean, honestly, it's pretty cool. To get her rightful spot back at the head of the Commission, she reveals her daughter, Lila, whom she adopted after her parents were killed by the Commission, but is now a trained assassin who enters the Umbrella group by posing as a crazy person with Diego, later becoming his love interest, of course. A few other things are the fact that Vanya has to save Harlan from a drowning incident, somehow giving him some sort of her powers, the group meeting with Sir Reginald Hargreeves, stating that they are from the future, revealing details about themselves and what time travel is, and that it is actually possible. And all of this should lead us to the final last 2 episodes of Season 2, of course leaving out some of the most action-packed sequences accompanied by some of the most kick-ass tunes. I mean, seriously, Everybody by the Backstreet Boys is in a scene. Just look.
Okay, now that we're all caught up on the Umbrella Academy, let's dive into the last couple episodes of this series where some big reveals take place, some weird time elements kind of interfere with things, and you know, some things are going to probably get messed up. Alright, so throughout Season 2, the Umbrella Academy members continue to wonder why the apocalypse has followed them back to the 60s. Sure, they have done some fairly drastic things to change the timeline, like Klaus suggesting that they go eat tacos, but the biggest is the fact that Vanya is captured by the FBI/CIA and is taken to their headquarters for questioning. Her being interrogated, therefore causing her powers to get out of control, exploding the building, scaring off JFK, therefore he never dies, believes that it was the Russian commie bastards behind this attack, declares war, and that's how they all die again in the apocalypse. Oh, keep rolling, keep rolling. Okay, so Diego, Allison, and Klaus have made their way into the building where Vanya is being held. However, none of them are strong enough to make it through her energy barrier, except for Ben, since, surprise, surprise, he is actually already dead. Learning from earlier in the season, he now has the ability to possess people. He jumps into Vanya's mind, trying to ease her. It is a touching moment the two of them have together, reuniting, him filling in Vanya on some of her memories, but also a big reveal that Ben never went towards the light when he died all those years ago because he was scared of dying. But now it is his time. As Vanya's powers are slowly ripping him apart, Ben gives Vanya one last hug and is now off into that big bright light in the sky. Now that Vanya has been stopped, history continues to play out the way that it should, with JFK having a mind explosion. Sorry about that, but everything is apparently going to plan for the Majestic 12 as they all meet at the Tiki Bar from earlier in the season. These quote-unquote men in black are now celebrating, forever proving JFK was all a conspiracy, but Sir Reginald Hargreeves shows up to the party claiming that he had been set up, that these other quote-unquote men in black members lied to him. The head men in black states that this is what everyone wanted. They will be the first to space, the first to the moon, and Reginald Hargreeves can now have the dark side of the moon for all of his research. Hargreeves begins to leave until they threaten to expose what he truly is. Hargreeves, feeling that this is a threat, makes his way back into the room and does the unthinkable. He removes a mask of sorts, revealing the back of his head. Sir Reginald Hargreeves is a space alien. He then kills all of the other members in what I'm assuming is a safety precaution. So one of the biggest twists of Season 2 of the Umbrella Academy is that Sir Reginald Hargreeves is in fact an alien. I mean, who would have guessed, right? Well, there's actually quite a bit of evidence, and I mean a lot of evidence, that pointed towards this. Obviously, the biggest hint that Hargreeves was an alien is, I guess, the scene that we just saw, because we clearly see an alien head. I mean, what more evidence do you want? Okay, well, if we take into account what he knows and where he comes from, and the fact that he knows about time travel, technology, even money, Sir Reginald Hargreeves seems to be one of the smartest and wealthiest people, seemingly out of nowhere. He also has some sort of serum that is able to bring people back to life, in this season's case, Pogo, after his failed space mission. So sure, there are a handful of reasons that point to Hargreeves being a man of higher thinking, but let's take a look back at Season 1, where there is actually a scene that happens to feel very out of place, but makes a lot more sense now. It is a scene in the last couple episodes of Season 1 where Hargreeves is talking to an elderly woman whom we can assume is his wife. She claims he must go on and that her time is done. The camera then makes its way to a window, revealing something otherworldly. Well, essentially it is a different world with a bright sky, alien technology of sorts in some sort of crop harvesting mech, and rockets leaving the planet. Clearly this is not Earth, and people are fleeing the planet due to what appears to be some sort of destruction, therefore meaning that this scene was placed there for a reason, to let the audience know that Sir Reginald Hargreeves isn't exactly what he says he is. Or we could have taken a shortcut, read the comics that the Umbrella Academy is based on, and found the panel that shows a human mask with a speech bubble stating "Space Alien." I mean, that would have really just saved me about 2 paragraphs of explanation, so yeah, Sir Reginald Hargreeves is an alien. Now, while all of this is happening, the handler has gotten her head post at the commission back because, surprise, surprise, she had 5 do her dirty work once again, killing all of the board members, including AJ, aka the Fishman robot dude, who I still think is the coolest of this season. Sure, any commission employee looking at this would think that it's a bit suspicious, but now she wants 5 and the other Umbrella members dead to cover up any and all tracks. She calls all of the agents out of the field because this means war. Vanya now gets visions of Harlan and soon realizes that when she brought him back to life, she also gave him part of her powers, and he does not know how to control it, so essentially now Harlan is a ticking time bomb. The Umbrella crew members pile into the back of a station wagon to go help out the best they can. Sorry, I had to sneak that in somehow.
That's what she said.
Anyway, they make it to Sissy and Harlan as Vanya slowly makes her way into the force field to console Harlan. A flash can be seen by Klaus, and of course, the handler and Lila have found them. After a brief conversation with 5 and Diego, every single commission agent time hops to their location. They are vastly outnumbered as 5, Diego, and the others take cover, and the commission agents open fire. Do the Umbrella members make it out alive? Find out next week on the Umbrella Academy Season 2, Ending Explained Poorly, Part 2. I'm just f***ing with you. Vanya now bursts out of the barn and blasts back all of the agents to give the other members some time to breathe. However, the unthinkable happens once again. Lila now begins to glow, float up, and have the same powers as Vanya. How can this be? Lila continues doing this with all of the other Umbrella members, from time jumping to super strength to even rumoring it. That's right, Lila is in fact another one of these super powered humans that was born on the same day back in 1989, except her powers are to mimic or essentially copycat anyone else. This is why the handler adopted her all of those years ago, because she knew she was quote unquote special and could be utilized later on when she needed her. These abilities of hers can be seen earlier as well when she's fighting 5 and alongside with the Swedes. As Lila makes minced meat out of the other Umbrella members, she makes her way to 5, swearing that she will get her revenge for her parents because 5 had assassinated them. As the fight continues, the waters become less and less muddled as Lila discovers from 5 that the handler had actually called the hit and that she had come along on the job, which is something she never had done before. The kill order on Lila's parents was all a setup by the handler to get Lila and the powers all for herself. The handler had been manipulating her whole life, only now realizing what she actually is. She is one of the Umbrella members now. So season 2 is filled with lots of twists and turns leading up to a big reveal. I mean, Hargreeves being an alien, Lila being a superpower, almost sister or sibling to them. But let's get into the end where there's the biggest reveal yet. As an emotional scene of them discovering a long-lost sister plays out, the handler just straight up machine guns them all and they're dead. The end. Just kidding, 5 is holding on to life as the handler does her great evil cliched plan speech, but just as she is about to pull the trigger and end 5, the handler is peppered with bullets herself, revealing that the last of the Swedes finishes her off. Because, spoiler alert, the handler set up the Swedes, exploding one of them while they had to have a Viking funeral accompanied by a Swedish version of Adele's Hello, which honestly was just lovely. I'm getting off track here. Anyway, the Swede saves the day because the handler had killed his brothers. As 5 barely grasps onto life, he remembers a conversation with Hargreeves earlier in the season about jumping back in time in small intervals rather than years, to try something like seconds or minutes. He uses the last bit of strength that he has to jump back roughly 30 seconds right before the handler had machine gunned everyone down. This in turn stops the handler, but the Swede still gets his revenge, finally killing the handler. But before they can stop Lila, she grabs the briefcase and time tunnels out of there. Where'd she go? No one knows. The season closes up with all of the family members saying their goodbyes to their past lives, leaving notes and trying to make phone calls, again playing into the historical elements of this time, like Luther trying to call Jack Ruby to persuade him not to kill Lee Harvey Oswald, but obviously he doesn't pick up, or Sissy and Harlan now moving far away from Dallas, crossing a sign that says New Mexico, which is a hint here to the peoples, is a foreshadowing of Area 51 and Roswell, New Mexico. All of the Umbrella members are given a briefcase from the new heads of the commission and now ready to time travel back home. They join hands and are teleported back to the Umbrella Academy. It is now April 2nd, 2019, the day after the apocalypse, and everything looks the way it should. However, something feels off because the picture above the fireplace is no longer that of 5, but rather it is replaced with a picture of Ben. As all of them realize something is off, Sir Reginald Hargreeves gets out of his chair stating, "I knew you'd show up eventually." Wait, hold on. None of this is right. This different picture on the mantle, Hargreeves still alive. What else is going to be different? Well, I guess I spoke too soon when we find out that it is no longer called the Umbrella Academy, but rather the Sparrow Academy. As silhouettes of the Sparrow Academy members make their way on the upstairs balcony, we can see just from the silhouettes that these are not the same members that we grew to love, especially that floaty cube thing. What the hell is that thing? Shocked, the Umbrella Academy members turn around only to reveal a very much alive and now scarred Ben. This is clearly not the same timeline. What did they do wrong? As it perfectly ends with them all saying, so that is season 2 of the Umbrella Academy, with Lila turning out to be a superpowered human being and other things that tied in with the comics. For example, Hargreeves being an alien. But what about that end with the Sparrow Academy? What does it mean? How is Ben alive? Where does this lead into a potential season 3? Well, you know what? We did some research and we got the answers for you. So clearly something is amiss here. After the conclusion of season 2 of the Umbrella Academy, Hargreeves is alive, and from what it appears, a whole different team is at play here in what we are now calling the Sparrow Academy. Now, this is where you have to dive into the comics from Gerald Way. Seasons 1 and 2 of the Netflix series were adapted from the first 2 runs of the comic series. With details from each run sprinkled in, now we can assume, if greenlit, seasons 3 and 4 of the Umbrella Academy will then follow the comic run 3, respectively called Hotel Oblivion, and the untitled 4th run that is in the works. But as of now, the Hotel Oblivion comic gives us more insight into what we can expect from the potential Sparrow Academy, Season 3, Season 4, wherever this goes. But as of now, the Hotel Oblivion comic gives us more insight into what we can expect and what this potential quote-unquote Sparrow Academy could be. Sure, if we do a simple Google search, there is a Sparrow patch alongside the other Umbrella Academy patches that give a people kind of a hint, and there's also other forums that are stating that potentially 5, his real name, what he's referred to, is quote-unquote the Sparrow. But if we dive into issue 5 of Hotel Oblivion, a strange woman actually approaches Vanya in Paris, wearing the same Sparrow logo. She then guides Vanya to the mountains of Norway to what appears to be an abandoned factory. Whomever this stranger is tells Vanya that they are going quote-unquote home, and whatever is inside is family. Once they arrive, another mom robot greets them, now saying that the stranger's name is Carla, and even more special people would like to meet Vanya. We get a better glimpse of this so-called Sparrow Academy now in issue number 7 as they show up to save the day, each wearing a red outfit of sorts, again sporting that Sparrow logo. We can assume here that these are in fact another handful of the 43 superhumans that were born that day back in 1989. Another hint that they are siblings is one of them says to Luther, "Lie there, brother," in one of the comic panels. Also, if you need even more evidence these new Sparrow Academy members are the ones at the end of episode 2, look at these comic panels compared to the silhouettes at the end of season 2. I mean, just look at it. It's the same floating cube thingy. These gotta be the same people. These have to be the Sparrow Academy. And at the end of the comic, Luther asks them who they are, with the leader of the group responding,
I'm Spartacus.
"Nope, wrong clip."
I am your father.
Definitely not that one either. Seriously, okay, here, look at the comic panel as he responds, "I am number 1." So this means that there are other teams out there of superhumans from the batch of 43 women that gave birth that day. Either they found themselves, or more than likely, since Hargreeves always kept hiding secrets, this is another team he created as almost a backup plan of sorts. Either way, season 3 could pack a variation of alternate timeline elements along with a whole new group of Academy members. And if it shows anything that is hinted at in Hotel Oblivion, or even hinted at in volume 4 of the comic run, we're going to see an interdimensional prison, a whole lot of weird baddies, and even more superpowers. So that's what the end of season 2 is hinting at, and that ominous cliffhanger ending. Or it could be none of what I just explained. They veer off the path from the source material, and Netflix and the creators decide to take this show in a completely different path. I mean, either or. So that is it. Season 2 of the Umbrella Academy broken down for you guys, hopefully explained in a somewhat okay manner. But what did you guys think of that ending? Did you see those reveals coming? Are you excited for season 3? What are you still confused on what the hell the Sparrow Academy is? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. These ending explained poorly videos take a long time and a lot of resources, so please like and comment and share all of that stuff. It really helps me out. Follow all my social media down there, like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.